Hey guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains of North Carolina. Tonight I wanted to touch upon part 3 right here of the alternative forms of communication series. This is the final part of this. This has all been surrounding the use of this. This is a Panasonic Toughbook, and it's amazing that this ancient computer, this is an old single core computer, is still operational in 2020 or late 2020 now. And it's capable of doing things that I'll bet you just never realized were able to be done in the modern era. This is a social media networking system right here. This is a radio station broadcaster, and this is a shoutcast broadcaster. And that's what I use it for. It serves 3 purposes, and it does them all really well with a very, very old processor and a very minimal amount of RAM. It is running a copy of Windows 7 now. It had Windows XP on it for most of its life, but I did do some upgrades to it not too long ago because some of the software finally did change a little bit. But let's get into it. If you saw in part 1, I run a pirate radio station, 1670 AM, and 1670 The Voice of the Mountains AM, and that station runs off a Part 15 Hamilton Rangemaster transmitter. Now, Part 15 means the range on that thing is very limited. Half mile to a mile on a good day is about where it gets. In the area of the country where I live right now, that means that I'm probably the only one that's going to hear that message. But in a town, especially, or in a city even more so, a mile might get you the ears of many, many people. So there are a lot of folks out there that use these Part 15 transmitters to get news and information out there to the world. Now in part 2, we talked about BBSs, and this unit runs, it used to run WWIV BBS, it was 4.24 I believe. Now it runs Synchronet, and that's also available both via modem if there were to be a problem with the internet, but also via Telenet, which is like, I think in the video I made, I referred to it as the dark web or the deep web, but it's not really. It's actually the forgotten web. Telnet predates the World Wide Web by several years, and it's a way of transmitting information and data and such through the backbone of the internet without using the World Wide Web. So I run the Midnight Cafe BBS right off of this, and it's running in the background right now. And lastly, I wanted to share with you something that's also been in operation here for over 20 years, and that is Shoutcast, which is what you see right here. This program is running here with the blue, and I kind of changed the skin on it just so you could see it a little more clearly in this video. But that's Winamp. Winamp has been around since the 90s, and it's free, thankfully. But you take the program Winamp, which you can build playlists and song lists and music lists, all the listings and such, and you tie it in with another program from the same company called Shoutcast, which has also been around since right before the year 2000, and you end up with the ability to stream anything you want right from your laptop to the internet and to anyone around the world that wants to hear it. So this predates YouTube, this predates TuneIn, and all of them. I can't think of the names of them because I don't really, like iTunes and all those things. Those are all came along after this. What's amazing is this is still around. This still works. The technology is still usable to this very day. So Winamp here, and I'm going to get a little closer here and show you this, has some really cool functions that allow you to set up your radio station or your Shoutcast stream. So let me move the camera closer to the screen here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, hopefully you can see what I'm talking about here, but here is our just what's streaming currently, how long it's been streaming. There's even a bar graph here. Over here it has our list of what's in the playlist. So we have our different audio programs that are playing. Down here we have our playlists, and this is where you create your station rotation. So I have Midnight Season 1, Season 2, and various mixes. Season 3. Then we also have some, I have some old Halloween record recordings that are no longer copyrighted, and I throw those into the mix every once in a while. Below that, free-to-air music. So Shoutcast does stream over the web. You are required to pay royalties if you have a public stream. If you have a public stream that's being broadcast to people, you have to pay royalties just like anybody else. So I don't want to pay those royalties, so I don't play copyrighted material on my station. I never have. So what I do is I play free-to-air music. There is a ton of royalty-free music out there, and a lot of it is actually quite a bit better than anything you're going to pay to listen to anyway. So I have that in there, and I'll throw in songs. Below that, yeah, I got some classic Art Bell. I've got some Heather Wade. If you're not familiar with her, she took over Coast to Coast or Midnight in the Desert, and now she runs Kingdom of Nye. But she's Art Bell's successor. Then I have some very old Coast to Coast episodes from the mid to early 90s. I also have my own news, Pale Horse News, and I also do some work for some other companies, as you can see down here. I won't mention the names, but I do interviews and work with some other companies. And there's also the Voice of the Mountain feeds, which is live stuff that I do right here on my very own station. And so these playlists come up, and you can see there's a whole lot going on there. And that just plays through the rotation. If I wanted to go live, you can also do that. I don't have it hooked up right now, but I did kind of cover that in the 1670 radio station video if you're interested in watching that. But this runs just like it would if I were going to be listening to this stuff right here on the laptop. But if I go down here to the bottom, there's just one other program running, and that is the Shoutcast Streamer. And as you can see, it's doing whatever it is it needs to do. And that is linking it to a Shoutcast website and allows it to be streamed around the world. There are, and I'm going to pause the camera again, move it back out so we can talk some more. Okay, so there are some different options if you're going to think about running your own stream here. You can run it completely as you are the server, which is what I do here. I have very limited bandwidth at the house, which is why in the last few videos that I've discussed the fact that I do run a stream, I've never actually given out the address of the stream. I'm changing that. If you want to look for WFPF on Shoutcast, the Voice of the Mountains, that is the stream that this is coming off of. I've recently upgraded the software on this to Windows 7, and I've recently upgraded to a slightly higher bandwidth here at the house. Now, if y'all run out there and jump on it at the same time, it probably will not play, or it'll sound like a rabid squirrel singing into a microphone or something like that. But if you try later on or tomorrow or the next day, well, chances are it'll play just fine. So it's out there. So that's version 1 or option 1. Option 2 is you can pay to have hosting. So I could take all these files here that are on the Winamp system here or on my hard drive, upload them to a server, and I could pay, say, $4 or $5 a month and pay to have that Shoutcast service stream that music for me at a higher bit rate. And if you want to go live, you still can if you have that option. It just adds an extra layer. You'll need another piece of software. I do use something called SAM broadcasting software when I do live stuff, and that kind of intertwines with the Shoutcast software. So that's that. The third option you have is to skip Shoutcast and Winamp altogether and go to something like Live 365, which allows you, it's considerably more expensive, $60 a month at minimum, but that allows you the opportunity to play copyrighted music or copyrighted whatever, and be able to have that music streaming on a larger platform. They're playing that at almost CD quality there. So those are the options there. But for me, and for most people who get into Shoutcast, they just stream it. I'd say probably 30 or 40% probably stream it from their own computers, and the rest pay a small amount of money to play whatever it is they want to play on someone else's server. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can still do here. This technology dates back so far, but there's a lot of cool stuff that people just don't realize exists that you can do with old software and old hardware that still works in the backbone of the computer. Now, you'll notice in my webpage, and if you're going to try to search for WFPF and try to stream it, you can't use Chrome, you can't use Chromium or Edge. I think Firefox works, and I know that IE works, because there's two versions of Shoutcast. There's version 1.0 and there's version 2.0. This one is still running on 1.0, although I do plan soon to upgrade it to 2.0. On 2.0, it works on modern browsers, but the technology is just kind of old, and I just haven't really felt the need to upgrade it, because what it also works on fine is it works on apps. So like if you have a mobile device and you want to stream radio stations off of it, you can search for Shoutcast streams, and it plays fine through those, because they kind of have their own decoder encoder in those apps, so it seems to work fine on that. But yeah, so I'm taking a 20-plus-year-old piece of equipment, and I'm running, let's call it a social media network, which is a BBS, the bulletin board system on Synchronet right here. I'm running my own radio station, quotes, right? My radio station that broadcasts live is 1670. The Voice of the Mountains here in North Carolina. And then I'm also streaming it to the entire world via Shoutcast. it amazes me that more people don't get into these shoutcast streaming. At any one given time, it's usually right under 1 million people streaming information over shoutcast servers, and that blows me away because it's free. The software is free, the hardware is, whatever you have laying around, and if you don't want to pay for server space, you're literally in it for nothing but a couple of watts. This unit draws 15 watts when the battery's fully charged. It's been upgraded to an SSD drive, so it just does its thing. 15 watts, per hour to run a radio station, to run a shoutcast stream, and to run the BBS. I think that's a fair amount of money to pay. So that's it. That's the end of the alternative forms of communication series that has been rolling on now for years, and all seem to center around the old Panasonic. I do plan on upgrading this to a CF30 very shortly, which will have a dual core. That'll also be when I upgrade to that version 2.0 software. And so I don't know. I don't know that I'll ever make another video on this. I suppose if you really want to learn how to set up your own shoutcast stream, I could make a video showing how that's done. But I'm telling you, it is so simple. You go to Shoutcast, you sign up, you name your station, and then you download Winamp and you download the Shoutcast streaming software, and make one or two adjustments. You do have to make one adjustment to your router. You're opening up one single port, and just to the computer you're going to be using to stream. And that's it. You're done. You're up and running. It's working, and it works really good. I mean, 20 plus years. I think when I started this, I was working off of a AMD 5X86, which was a 486, 133 megahertz processor. And I was able to stream via cable modem, which is probably 1 megabyte of power back then. And I got 2 or 3 people could simultaneously connect. And, it's just amazing here. This thing is might as well be a lightning bolt compared to that, and does the job. I can usually get about 20 people streaming at one time with the bandwidth. Very low bandwidth settings on this particular station, but you can set them much higher if you want. This is set to 48 kilobytes a second, which is enough. It's great for audio or talking, which is what 99.99% of what I put out is. But there is the ability to up that to 92 or even 128, so you can do CD quality or nearly CD quality sound out of it if you choose to do so. Guys and gals, that is it. I'm Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms. I hope you enjoyed this. It's amazing. It's cool. I would say it's cool to be able to share my hobbies. This is one that I'm sure not too many of you will find interest in, but you ought to. And you should certainly check out the EM50 website, and check out the Midnight Cafe website, and check out the Shoutcast stream that plays a lot of the old stuff. And if you're into live feeds, well, I also throw in some live feeds from Farpoint Farms in here, so you might just hear yourself on the radio one day. I'll see you all next time. Take care.
There's always something that needs a little fixing on Farpoint Farms. Freedom is mighty sweet.